Welcome back to Mustache Moto. It's Ben, and it's been 2 years since I bought my R1250 GSA. Let's talk about what it's been like riding this big bike. All right, like I said, it's been 2 years since I bought the R1250 GSA. In that time, I've put about 33,000 miles on it. So I'm riding it. I ride it a lot. And I've learned a lot of things about it. Some things I absolutely love, some things not so much. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about, is it right, and well, who is it right for, and is it right for you, a big adventure bike like this, big monster? So I was really seduced by the idea of an adventure bike that I could go anywhere on, and as I was looking at them, you know, I'd never had a really modern bike. The V-Strom 650 was the last one I had. Didn't even have ABS on it. So I wanted to go all the way for the first time. So the BMW at the time, it was top of the line, cruise control, ABS front and back, you know, traction control, adaptive suspension, all sorts of whiz bangs and gizmos and things that I thought, yes, I want to try this. I want to see how good it is, and I want to see what I can do on it. And of course, I had dreams of, you know, single track riding, going all over the country on it, doing all sorts of things that I have never done, and places I wouldn't even take the V-Strom. So let's talk about what I've actually done in the last couple of years, and was this the right bike for it, and is this the right bike for it, and is it the right bike for you? So let's start off. Let me say, I'm not a big guy. I'm like 5'6", I weigh 125 pounds, and I'm 54 years old. So that's gonna play into some of the things I say and some of the criticisms I have of this bike. And that may be very different for you, but I'll make sure to bring that up again, and I'll mention it as we get to those things. So let's talk about first, overall impression. I love this bike. It's a fantastic bike. I'm happy I bought it, okay? Is it exactly what I thought it would be? Not really. I mean, it is incredibly powerful. It is super smooth. It handles anything I can throw at it. I mean, it's as good of a sport bike as I've ever been on. It's a better highway bike than I've ever been on. It goes off-road. We'll get into that a little bit more in a minute, the pluses and minuses of that. I love it. I mean, it's really a phenomenal bike. And I've taken it cross-country. I went out to Utah on it, spent 3 weeks living off of it, camping. It's got tons of storage. You know, I use it when I work sometimes. I can throw all my camera gear. I can throw lights in there. I can go to assignments. And it just makes that so much more fun being able to do that. Go grocery shopping. I mean, it's got enough storage that it's no problem for me to run to Kroger, load it up, get everything I need, and I'm on the bike and having more fun than I would be in a car. So those are some of the really cool things about this bike. I mean, the suspension is fabulous. Like I said, the engine is amazing. The quick shifter is pretty damn cool. Cruise control, I will never buy another bike without cruise control, I don't think. At least not a bike I'm gonna go any distance on. I love the TFT, having all the information there. You know, the navigation cradle is great. The Wonder Wheel, really cool. And this thing looks awesome. Let me tell you, I get so many compliments on how good it looks too. I didn't buy it so much for the looks. I mean, I thought it was really cool. I didn't expect other people to react to it the way they do. But I get comments every day on it, every day that I ride it, which is almost every day. Let's talk about some of the negatives on the bike. So it's big, it's tall. So this is the low suspension model, factory low. And I can put both feet down, kind of balls of the feet, which is fine. And I know people, you know, when I ride my DR650 or when I rode dirt bikes, I could only put one foot down at a time. It wasn't a big deal. It's not such a big deal on the DR650. But on this bike, on a 600-pound bike, that can be a bit of a problem. No problem on the road, but when I get off-road, you know, when I'm trying to back the bike up or if I need to kind of rock the bike and try and get it over a hump or get it through a tricky situation where I'm putting my feet down or even making a real slow speed turn, it makes it a whole lot more difficult and a whole lot more likely I'm going to drop it, which I do. I've definitely dropped this bike a bunch. And so that's the other really big issue with the bike is when you do drop it, it's 600 pounds. I mean, that's a beast. I'm 125 pounds. I'm not a huge muscular guy, not bad, but not super duper strong. And it can be a real challenge to pick up, especially if you're kind of on an incline where the bike is pointing down. I mean, sometimes you have to spin the bike around to be able to lift it up. And sometimes I can just barely lift it if I'm by myself. So that's a problem. That definitely would preclude me from doing serious kind of four-wheel drive type of roads by myself. Might preclude me from doing it with my buddies, but at least then I've got somebody that can help me lift the bike. So that's definitely the biggest drawback to this bike. Now, I know you could get the GS model and not the Adventure model, and that does save some weight, but honestly, the majority of the extra weight in the GSA model is, and they weigh them with a full tank of gas, and that's the tank of gas. And the thing holds 8 gallons of gas, which is a lot. That'd be what, 28, 50 something pounds of gas? Is that right? And then what I like to do, if I'm thinking about it, if I am gonna go off-road, I won't fill the tank all the way, or I'll do the off-road when I'm down to like maybe 3 gallons of gas in here. That saves a considerable amount of weight. I mean, you can take 30 pounds off the weight of the bike by doing that, which really helps. Let's talk about, I think I mentioned, you know, it really does, it hits corners well. It's super comfortable, so you can go long distances. It's great on the interstate. You know, I talked about the detriment of all that weight when you have to pick the bike up, but that weight is actually really, really helpful if you're riding on the interstate. It keeps the bike super stable. I mean, winds don't bother it. You know, the buffeting from semis doesn't bother it. It really is just a planted, solid machine, which I absolutely love. Another thing it does really, really well is Forest Service type roads. I mean, and part of this is my skill level. I mean, I know these bikes are capable of all sorts of off-road, single track, jumping the bike. I'm not. I mean, I don't have that skill. I've got some dirt riding experience, not a ton. And then on a bike this big and being a small guy and not long legs, I just can't do that kind of riding. But Forest Service roads, this thing tears them up. I mean, it just eats those for lunch, and it's a whole lot of fun. And then even into, you know, slightly rutted, some water crossings and rocky, the bike really handles it. If I was a better rider, I think I'd be fine. I think if I took, you know, one of the Brett Tax courses or one of those off-road riding courses, it would probably help quite a bit. I need to do that. But as it is, I'm a little skittish when the roads get super, super rough. Okay, let's talk about another negative to this bike. It's expensive. And it's not just expensive when you buy it, it's expensive when you ride it. I mean, they say BMW means what? It stands for bring more wallet. And that's not entirely untrue. So you buy the bike, it's expensive. Gas, you're gonna run premium gas. That's more expensive. Now you get good mileage. I mean, I get in the 50-mile range per gallon, so that's pretty good, but you're still paying more per gallon because you're buying the premium. Maintenance, when you change the oil, it's 4 liters of oil, of motorcycle-specific oil, and that stuff ain't cheap. So you're talking, if you find a good deal, maybe 15 bucks a liter, maybe 20. So that's almost 80 bucks there. Plus you got to get the filter. That's going to be another $10. So it's expensive. You're talking $100 almost if you do your own oil change. You know, every 12,000 miles, you got to check the valves, which if you do it yourself, no problem. If you're paying a dealer, it's going to be expensive. And at that 12,000 miles, you also have to replace the spark plugs. I thought first time, no big deal, 2 spark plugs, cost me 10 bucks. Those suckers are $25 each. And you definitely need to replace them at 12,000 miles. The electrode is like worn out. You can visibly see where it's getting undercut and it's gonna fail. so you can't stretch that and get extra time. Tires, they're big, so they're expensive. They're more expensive than on the V-Strom. And on a big, heavy, powerful bike, you eat through them faster. So where I'm getting maybe 6,000 miles on a set on this bike, that same set would get me 8,000 or 9,000 on the V-Strom. So that's another expense. Be aware of that. You know, I still think it's a good trade-off. I've got the money that I can afford to do it, and I'm really enjoying the bike, so I'm not willing to throw it out because of those extra expenses. But another thing that's happened, and this kind of got my craw a little bit, is front shock blew out. I've got 38,000 miles on the bike, and the shock's blown, and I do a little research. It's not rebuildable, and everybody's like, yeah, they only last about 30,000 miles. Come on a bike this expensive, that should last a whole lot longer. Since it's not rebuildable, you've got to actually replace it. So there's a few options. I decided to go expensive, and I'm getting a full traction attractive package. That's like $3,000, a lot of money. I'm gonna be putting those in shortly. I'll do a video on that. It better make it feel like a brand new bike, because that's a lot of money and something I've never had to do on other bikes. You know, the fork seals leak on another bike, you know, whatever you're riding, that's not a big deal. You can do that repair for $100 or less, because it's just a couple of seals in a couple hours of time. Can't do that with the shock. So like I said, I've had some misgivings. I think if I was going to take this bike, or if I was looking for a bike to take around the world, or to do more BDR, heavy BDR type of stuff, I think I'd have to get something lighter. It's just, this is too heavy, too big for me at my age, at my size, at my strength, to handle for those sorts of things. But I love it if I'm going to be doing long distances, touring, sport touring, Forest Service roads, camping. This is absolutely perfect for all those things. All right. Is it right for you? I don't know. But if you got a motorcycle, get out there and ride.